Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast on a mission to inspire a world where food makes us better. Happy Monday, everyone! It's a new week, new beginning, time to recommit to things that are important to you, like your health and fitness, for example, to recommit to all of your goals and start taking action. So this is a piece of Monday motivation for you before we start talking about food and health and everything related. So guys, today is Monday and I'm going to give you a little bit of nutrition food news from the latest edition of New Scientist in UK. And on the cover, there is this whipped cream written words, junk food. And it says we are finally starting to understand why it's so bad for us, meaning why junk food is so bad for us. So guys, for a while, and still till this day, scientists don't really understand why junk food, ultra-processed food is a better term that they use now in nutrition science. So why ultra-processed food is so bad for us? And now it seems like we are finally a little bit we're at the point we finally start to understand this a little bit better. We finally start to understand that it's not about calories, that it's not about the amount of fat or carbs or, any single nutrient, but it's actually what we do to the food, how we process that seems to affect our health the most. So I'm reading to you from the magazine New Scientist again, this new edition. That is where the field of nutrition has been going wrong, according to Tim Spector, an epidemiologist at King's College London who studies food's effects on health. What policymakers should focus on, he says, is getting people to change to eating real food versus eating processed foods and food products. And more and more, guys, you'll be hearing about how food is processed instead of trying to find one nutrient that is bad or that is good, right? So it seems from all the data that we have that the more ultra-processed food the person eats, the worse they do health-wise. So reading again from the magazine. The ultra-processed group includes not just things usually seen as junk food like fries or frozen pizzas, but also some breakfast cereals, soups, ostensibly healthy, low-fat, low-salt ready meals, and even most kinds of mass-produced bread. So yeah, guys, mass-produced bread is also junk food, and I completely agree with that because it's highly processed substance with a lot of ingredients, sugars and starch and all the stuff that is not whole food. It's highly processed and it is sort of junk food. They also contain artificial additives such as coloring, sweeteners, and flavor enhancers designed to make the food more palatable and also designed to make it shelf stable so the business of food thrives without having to throw away a lot of food, right? So the concept of ultra processing is powerful because it gets us beyond talking about individual nutrients and talking about food as a whole. One study even found that the more ultra-processed food in a person's diet, the higher their risk of early death. So yeah, that's how serious it is, guys. That's why you want to first and foremost focus on whole foods, keto or whatever. There are keto foods that are highly processed. There are vegan foods that are highly processed. It doesn't matter. What matters is how processed the food is. So another about weight loss. There was a study. So they asked volunteers to stay on site, meaning in a facility where they did the study in a lab for the 4-week duration of the experiment so that every morsel passing their lips could be analyzed. For 2 weeks, they ate snacks and meals that were mainly ultra-processed food. A careful selection of chicken nuggets, ready meal, ravioli, cookies, cereal, and the like. For another 2 weeks, they ate nothing but whole foods, including fruit, vegetables, meat, and yogurt. The participants were offered about twice as much food as they should have needed, and they could eat as much or as little of it as they wished. Crucially, the two diets were controlled, so the snacks and meals on offer contained more or less the same amount of fat, protein, total carbohydrates, sugar, salt, and fiber. The effect on the volunteers was dramatic. On the ultra-processed diet, people put on weight, gaining an average of 0.9 kilograms, basically 1 kilo or about 2.2 pounds. In 2 weeks on ultra-processed diet. On the whole foods diet, and again, people ate as much as they wanted, people lost the same amount on average, just under a kilo. Again, about 2.2 pounds of weight. As it turned out, when given free rein to eat as much processed food as they liked, people ate about 500 calories more over the course of the day than if they were choosing from whole foods. That's a large difference, says the researcher. There is clearly a causal relationship. So the idea is, guys, when you are eating ultra-processed food, you do eat more without even realizing that. And one of the reasons they believe people whose diet is mainly processed food end up hungry because they aren't meeting their protein requirements. So they eat more to assuage, not sure how you pronounce it, that hunger. So basically, when you eat processed foods, guys, you are deficient in many nutrients, not just proteins, but also essential fats, fibers, vitamins, and minerals, etc. And that's why you end up being hungry, and you eat more, but you're still hungry because the brain knows that you're not getting your essential nutrients, but it can't tell you like eat fatty fish or eat walnuts or eat, broccoli. What the brain can tell you is, we're missing this, go get it from food, and you end up being hungry. And if you eat more processed food, you just never satisfy that hunger. As simple as that. Plus, of course, the protein, the volume of whole foods, the fiber, it all adds up. The slowdown of digestion that happens with whole food, it all also contributes to the satiety level. But also that you're just missing nutrients when you eat just junk food. What else? There was something else I wanted to read to you. Oh, this is powerful, guys. So we have 26,000 chemicals in our food. We don't really understand what's in real food. We're still getting to the bottom of it, says Spectra, the UK scientist who creates or consults on policy in UK. So we have 26,000 chemicals in our food, and we don't really understand what's in real food. We're still getting to the bottom of it. While we may not yet fully understand the mechanics, the mechanisms, the evidence is accumulating that it is probably best to avoid eating too much ultra-processed food. And while we wait for the science to catch up, the take-home message is simple. Eat whole foods as much as budget and circumstances allow. Your body may thank you for it. So yeah, this was from new edition of New Scientist in UK. I'm not sure if it's the same in US and other countries, but you can get it online for sure. And that's where the food, nutrition, science, healthy, of course, food science is moving. We start to understand and accept the fact that we don't know a lot about our food. And when we process it, we remove and delete things that we are not even aware of. And then, we're running this experiment with all this food procession, and it's not turning out good. You look, obesity rates globally are growing. We have more obese and overweight people than ever. Metabolic syndrome, diabetes, blood cholesterol, depression, anxiety, that also, by the way, is related to our food consumption. Gut health, all sorts of leaky guts and allergies and sensitivities are growing. It is all, of course, related to the food processing that we are doing currently. So I'm very, very cautious about adding any ingredients into my own food. I basically do not eat any ingredients that have weird names that were introduced in our food supply in the last 10, 20 years. I just buy whole foods, cook them really fast, really simple way. Add some salt, some natural herbs and spices, and add variety of those foods, veg, fruit, meat, fish, eggs, fermented dairy, and that's it. Nuts, seeds, beans, all of that. Healthy eating is actually really, really simple. And speaking about healthy eating being really, really simple, I coach clients helping them to change their eating habits. And so people assume sometimes when they come to me that I am going to give them some complicated plan. And with relief, they soon realize that what I actually help them to do is to change as little as possible about their nutrition habits, helping them to improve it still, and reach their weight and health goals and fitness. Also, I coach a lot of sports people in athletics to improve their performance and recovery, all of that. But anyhow, I always ask people to give me their food diaries, like what they do with their food now. And then I little by little change and substitute one thing for another, introduce them to new foods that have certain missing nutrients in their diets. But again, I try to change as little as possible. If you like, I don't know, to have oatmeal for breakfast, but that's all you have, I usually would try to change it as little as possible. Maybe add some eggs for protein, maybe add some protein powder so you get your protein, add some healthy fats from walnuts, for example, maybe add some fruit for antioxidants and more fiber, right? And yesterday, a lot of my clients had more time, cooking and preparing. They were sending in those meals, and they were so different because everyone loves different food. They eat different foods. My clients eat at different times. They're from different countries, some from US, some from Russia, some from Singapore and Japan, some from Australia. Completely different food choices. But healthy eating can work in any country for any kind of eating habits. You can improve them little by little and eat all of the nutrients, almost all of the nutrients that we need. And again, healthy eating can be super simple, but you just gotta know what to change, what to do, and that's what I help my clients to do, right? Because I have all this knowledge and experience, and I'm trained in science, so whatever they Google might not necessarily at all be based on science, and I help them to change their diet in a way that is based on science, helping them to reach their, again, health, fitness, sports performance goals. So that's what I do as a coach. And again, the take-home message is healthy eating is simple and anyone can do it. And guys, also wanted to read to you a couple of messages from my clients that I got that about progress and how their lives are changing and how yours can change too once you start taking care of your health and your fitness. One of my clients, I've been coaching her for what I think is like 7 weeks now. So reading you from the WhatsApp text she sent me yesterday. I caught up with a friend today that hasn't seen me for the first time since I started this program with you. We've known each other for about 12 years, and she said I looked amazing and had never seen me looking so good and toned. She was especially wowed by my arm muscles because this client came to me to improve your upper body strength, your body composition, reduce your body fat. So that was an amazing, praise, and she felt so good about her progress, even though before she started to complain a little bit about how she wasn't making as much progress as she thought she would make. And then I sent her a message back. That's so cool to get compliments like this. Sometimes it's hard for us to notice ourselves, our progress, since we see ourselves every day. But people who haven't seen us for a while will always tell us about the obvious difference. So great job. And then I say, you did the work. She said, yeah, I did the work, but I wouldn't have done it without you keeping me motivated, and she's definitely inspired to keep going. And then another client of mine went shopping because I'm gonna read to you another message. Walked into Hugo Boss and the guy sizes me up and says, "You are 36, 38, never been lower than 40, and having to get rid of more clothes than just don't fit anymore." So a male client of mine went shopping to Hugo Boss, and for the first time in his life, he in the size that he hasn't been in before, and he is 38. So isn't that amazing? Like buying new clothing and fitting into the stuff that you always wanted to fit in, looking, and most importantly, feeling super sharp. That's what taking care of yourself gives to you guys. You're gonna feel amazing, like you're ready to change the world. And that's why it's so worth it to invest your time and energy and sometimes money, into a good coach. I'm a coach. I have a coach for my business and my personal development. That's what we do. People need other people to get through those challenging spots in their life where you're like stuck in the rut and you're not sure where to move, what to do. There are so many things, and you're not sure how to approach all of this. Reach out for help to someone who has more experience and knowledge and can guide you through this journey. And then again, no matter what, invest your time and energy into your health in fitness, because that's gonna transform your life on all levels: your work, your relationships, your money making, your mission in life, everything. Invest in yourself, in your health and fitness, and you'll be amazed how it's gonna transform your whole life. So that's the main take home message: invest in your health, in fitness, your time and energy, always. And guys, thank you for tuning in. Eat more whole foods as usual, and also as usual, have an awesome week ahead. Crush your goals, take care of yourself, your health and fitness. Until next time, eat better daily.